Good afternoon, Edson. Thanks for joining us for another Facebook Live event regarding the flooding situation in our community. It's been a very busy 24 hours for our community and a very stressful and trying time for many of our residents. First off, I do want to just say a big thank you to everybody for sharing the kind messages with us over the last little bit. It has helped us get through this. Our staff have been working extremely hard, and I'm incredibly proud of everything they've done working throughout the night regarding the flooding situation, of course, the wildfires prior to that. I do want to address something that occurred yesterday. As you are aware, the town office lost phone lines. We found out what the cause of this was. It wasn't caused by the floods, and I'm not making this up, folks. It was caused by a bear that ran up a pole and took down some lines. So, if you think that anything else can get weirder in this whole scheme of events, I don't think we can make up any weirder stories than that. So, just want to share a little bit of humor with you, but it's 100% true. A bear took down our phone lines yesterday. I have talked to Minister Rick McIver this morning. He reached out. He wanted to share his thoughts with all of the residents here in Edson and offer all the support that the government of Alberta can provide. And the Alberta Emergency Management Agency has been phenomenal, and we want to thank them for their support and guidance through this emergency. We also want to pass on our deepest thoughts to the people of Yellowhead County, who are also dealing with a way larger scale emergency, a number of roads, bridges, culverts, evacuations in a couple areas. So I know I did speak to Mayor Williams last night here in town. He was touring some of the damage around town and doing his tour around the county. And our thoughts are with Yellowhead County at this time, and we have offered some support as well over the last 24 hours. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to our Chief Administrative Officer, Christine Beveridge. She's going to give a pretty fulsome update here, but some really important information. And then I'll have some further information after that, and then we'll take any questions that might be coming online. So with that, thank you, and we'll move over to Christine. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So at this point, we're going to go through a little bit of what the current situation is. As I mentioned yesterday, this situation is unprecedented. This is not normal rainfall. This is a major storm event. Over the past week, the town has been hit with 135 millimeters of rain. This storm is considered to once in a 50-year event. It's caused obviously considerable sanitary and stormwater management stress to that system. As a result, our crews are working feverishly to make sure that our systems are going, and then making sure that everything is safe with your water system. Flooding is the result of sewer backup, localized flooding, erosion, and infrastructure damage. As Mayor Zahara mentioned, this is serious. Areas of Yellowhead County have been evacuated due to the storm. We have pumps set up at Waz Creek and sandbagged houses fronting the creek. We have cleared the Parkland Lodge picnic area. We're asking also that residents really understand that we need to be aware of the dangers of the flood areas. We're asking you to please avoid the areas that are currently flooded, including Bench Creek, Centennial Park, and the Edson Golf Course. We've seen people, come a little too close, and in fact, much too close to these risks. And I think that number one through emergency 1, 2, and now 3, we have emphasized that people is our most important safety aspect, and we want to make sure that we all are safe during this. So we are also evaluating the town's infrastructure at this time. And that concludes kind of a little bit of what this looks like and the information about the storm itself and our infrastructure. So of course, resident impact, we understand that this has been an incredibly challenging time. I'm going to provide a little bit of information with regards to some tips about information that can help you and support you in this time. So anyone whose homes or property that have been impacted by the flooding must contact their insurance provider immediately if you've not already done so. Our emphasis right now, as I just mentioned, is resident safety. Please don't walk anywhere near. You know, it's great to drive by and see it because it's pretty incredible what's happened to our community, but please just leave it at that. Water might be deeper than you think, and we don't want to have a situation where we've got to do a rescue in this situation. Don't let your kids play in the floodwaters. We saw some things happen yesterday. We really want to make sure that doesn't happen any further. The water is slowly dissipating, but it's not gone. We've got pumps. There's still culverts that are able to pull. You know, the current is actually pretty incredible when it comes down to moving through the channel. So we want to make sure everyone's keeping that in mind. If you're near the floodwaters, please wear N95 or surgical masks. And that's just a safety precaution. Don't use any electrical outlets that may have been submerged. And if your electrical panel has been submerged at all, please contact an electrician before you do anything. It's critically important. If that has been damaged at all, you might have further damage, and that could cause you further risk. Keep track of your efforts and your time spent on the flood cleanup. This is going to be critically important. So from the time you started to deal with your cleanup, please track your hours, please track the things that you've done, and we'll come to that at a later date as far as what to do with that, but just start tracking. Don't send it into our staff or anything like that right now, but I'm just encourage residents to make sure that you document that. So for any emergency assistance, please call 780-723-6300, such as imminent flooding. So if you're seeing anything, please, you're our eyes and ears out there as well. We have crews all over the town. However, if you see something, please don't hesitate. If your basement is flooding, please call the town office, 780-723-4401. We're tracking all of the areas, so it's important that we know which properties are being affected by this flood, and it helps us with our numbers. So please don't hesitate to call and report that. Also, if you require Red Cross assistance, please phone the town office and we will connect you to Red Cross. As noted online last night, we did make the decision to keep the town office closed just for today. The reality is we've got staff here that are pulled into helping with the emergency efforts, and you know it's not to not serve you well. The reality is we just need a little bit more time to be able to get back up, to be able to serve you in the way that we know how to serve our residents. So the phone lines are still open. We're happy to take your calls, of course, but at this moment in time, our doors are still closed. Please visit the Town of Edson website and social media for more information, including cleanup and remediation. And as always, following this update, we do have our key messages on there with the information for you. So, you know, you don't have to be, worried about missing it at this time. So to close, I want to thank all of the crews, her working day and night to deal with this additional emergency situation. You note that I didn't speak about fire this morning or this afternoon. Right now, flood is our main issue. It doesn't take away that we still are going to have a fire issue, but right now we have to prioritize what's really important for our residents to understand and to, deal with in the immediate future. But we will come back to you with an update on the fire as the days go by. We know that everyone's stressed, anxious, and I'm sure you're exhausted. And we understand that, and we feel for you. I don't think anyone could have predicted moving from a fire of the magnitude that is on our doorstep to what we're facing over the last 24 hours. Sometimes the weather forecast isn't right, and unfortunately this time it was. In one way it's a positive because it's lessen the pressure with the fire. But in other ways, obviously, this has created an imminent impact to our residents, and it's something we're going to have to unpack together as a community. So we understand this is a lot to handle. We appreciate your support and your cooperation. I can tell you each one of the staff that work for me at the town of Edson are doing everything they can to support this community, and will continue to do so from now until the future and as we move through and recover from this. It takes all of us to keep our community safe, so thank you very much for helping us with that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Christine, and once again, a thank you to our crews. Also want to say a big thank you to our fire department. They were out patrolling trails and around town yesterday looking for hazards, helping cordon off areas. They were setting up a berm today over by the museum, as well as the Edson RCMP. Unfortunately, we had to have our CMP resources watching some areas because of people kayaking in creeks and things of that nature. It is not just dangerous, but there is the potential for contamination, raw sewage in some of these creeks. That's not something that you want to be in. And so please adhere to staying away from those areas. Also, when that water recedes, some of those banks are going to be unstable. So until we have the time to do the assessments to ensure everything is safe, you need to stay away from those areas. I also want to say that we have a large group of employees here at the town of Edson, all focused on this emergency, which means some services are not going to be available for some time. I know I've received some messages about bylaw complaints and cats and things like that. Certainly these are things in normal circumstances we want to deal with, but we just do not have the capacity at this time. Once again, I do want to say thank you to everybody for the kind messages. I forgot to mention as well, MLA Long has been on the phone with me several times over the last couple days. So I do appreciate that support. And our council as well. They're not here, you don't see them, but they're out in the community doing what they can to support this community. And I'm so thankful for that team that we have that are just there to support us and help out wherever they can. This has been a lot to deal with, and yeah, I think you've seen some of my emotion yesterday. Don't hesitate to reach out for support. We have been working with our partners in Alberta Health Services. So I'm going to give you some information now. If you have a pen and paper, maybe write it down because you may be having some difficulties or you may need somebody to talk to down the road, especially if your house has been flooded or you're dealing with financial difficulties. 211 Alberta is a great resource for information. It's a single point of contact for supports and services near you, no matter where you are in the province. It is confidential, so you can call or text info to 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Counseling Alberta is another great resource that we have that is available to the residents of Edson. They offer affordable virtual and in-person counseling services to Albertans in need. So depending on your financial situations, you may not even have to pay anything. Call 1-833-827-4230 or visit counselingalberta.com. I've had conversations with the leadership of Counseling Alberta. They do provide services to Edsonites. And they are there to support you. These people are fantastic. So once again, 1-833-827-4230 or visit counselingalberta.com. There's also the mental health helpline at 1-877-303-2642. And you can call that number. You can also look them up online. The Indigenous support line is 1-844-944-4744, and that's open from noon to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. I know Indigenous Day was supposed to happen here. Unfortunately, that's been canceled due to the events that we've had going on here. So you can reach out to them. And the Kids Help Phone is 24/7 access to counseling and crisis services for children, youth, and young adults. You can call them at 1-800-668-6868 or text CONNECT to 686-868. And I believe we'll try to get that information online for you as well. So, you may not feel like you need it now, but maybe down the road you need to talk to some folks. don't hesitate to do that. Our mental health is really important, addiction support as well. This is a lot to deal with, even for the strongest individuals. So please don't hesitate to do that. I don't think there's anything else we need to mention here today. Like I said, we'll provide information. I know there's folks with questions about some services. The landfill, for example, we are working through that. Just please have a little patience with us as we work through those steps. There's processes and things that we need to figure out from an operational point of view. Our team here is working incredibly hard, and we'll have those answers for you as soon as we can. With that, I'll open for any questions that residents may have.
We only had the one question about the landfill, and you just touched on that. So
Yeah, I know the landfill is closed right now. We do have some infrastructure challenges along that road. People are clearing out their homes, want to know what to do with that material. We'll have an answer for you as quickly as we can. Just put it in your yard someplace for now, and then we'll figure out those steps as we go forward. I don't know if there's anything you want to supplement, Christine, from an operations point of view.
I think, Mr. Mayor, I think we want to just reiterate that we are trying to stand up town operations as quickly as possible. And we will be making announcements as we're able to do so online. So again, just watch our website and as well as Facebook, and we'll be able to provide that information. It might not look exactly how we typically serve you, but we're trying our best to focus on the essential services, just as we always do when we come out of. We've done this 3 times. When we come out of an emergency, we're working very hard to get that to you. So I can guarantee you we've got a meeting this afternoon that we'll be making some big decisions with regards to what we can do, what we need to do, and how to best support you. So watch online later on today. There will be no further video update, but there will be information that will be shared on our Facebook as well as our website and Twitter. Thank you very much.
Thank you.